Hello and welcome to B Plus News and Reports. मेरा नाम अंशुमन गुप्ता है and today, as the title suggests, we are in conversation live in conversation with Dr. Rajiv Nag. He's a serial entrepreneur and he has also received National Award for Best Film. So you can understand that there is a lot of things that he has done, and today we have requested him for his time to discuss a lot of things regarding entrepreneurship. In the recent past, we have been seeing the government of India is also promoting entrepreneurship. And a lot of people who are right now watching this video, you must be thinking about entrepreneurship in your life, or you yourself, you are an entrepreneur. So let's begin this conversation with Dr. Rajiv Nag. Let's learn a lot of things from him and make it a worth video to share with the rest of the people. So would uh, now I would now introduce Dr. Rajiv Nag. Dr. Rajiv Nag, very warm welcome to you on B Plus News and Reports. I would request you to unmute.
Glad
Yeah,
to meet you.
right, sir.
Glad to be with everybody on this show.
So, you have started entrepreneurship journey in what age? If you can give us that brief.
It's very interesting. I was in a job till the age of 42, and by the age of 42, I had become a chief executive of a large Australian software company. I was based in Hong Kong. I was then the director of this company with the overall responsibilities for Hong Kong, Hong Kong, Singapore, and the entire Asia Pacific region. Then in 96, 94 really, when I decided to get back to India, I was offered lots of jobs in all the corporate sector, and I decided that at the age of 42 you have done everything that you wanted to, and so there were no other challenges in terms of the corporate structure that was interesting to me, and that's when I thought that I should do something on my own. And so I started off really on my own from 1994, but formally we started our first enterprise in the year 1997.
All right, 1997. So if we want to understand how was the situation then and what is the situation for an entrepreneur to start in 2021, what do you feel about that?
The environment at that time was not as friendly as I would say as it is now. Now there's much more facilities that are being given. There's much to actually encourage all the startups, etc. So yes, at that time it was much more difficult. Entrepreneurship meant doing many more things that's really required now. You have to, of course, you have to hunt for projects and execute the project. That is one challenge, which of course is always there. But the challenge that time also was much more in the environment itself. You have to get permissions. You have to get bankers to back you up. Bankers at that time were not so keen to be able to really back up entrepreneurs at that time, startups without any type of financial backing. They were not very keen on that. There were all types of permission that you had to get. If you had to be an export oriented unit, you had to get some special permissions for those things. So you were not able to send to get funds from outside without some permissions from RBI, etc. So yes, I think the challenges then was much more than it is now. Now is a very good time to be an entrepreneur. Uh, I would encourage all people who want to be ultimately on their own to really strike now. I think the iron is hot at this time. The environment is very, very conducive to startups. So I would really think that things have changed a lot.
Wonderful. So today is the time when you can start with your entrepreneurship journey if you're thinking of, as Dr. Rajiv Nag said. Sir, starting with cyber security, then into process, creating processes, and consultancy, as well as you have also made a film for which you have got award, a national award from Government of India. So please share that with us.
I must say that, and let's start off from 1994 onwards, so that your viewers can get a sense of the overall journey. See, because I had been in a software industry, there was a lot of knowledge, or there's a lot of experience that I had in certain parts of the world. So project management, software project management, and also in terms of software quality, I was already fairly well known in that part of the work, especially in Hong Kong, Singapore, Jakarta. I was known because of my work there. So at the time that I came back to India, I first decided to focus on my strengths. Those were my strengths, and I decided that that's what I should be doing instead of doing something completely new. So, so I started this consulting company, and that was focusing at that time on software quality alone. So at that time, CyberQ, that's the name of my company. So in CyberQ was focusing at that time in terms of software quality. Now the Q stands for quality. So it's cyber quality, CyberQ. And then in about 4 years' time, we felt that information security is something that is really becoming very, very important. It has become even more so now. Over the last 20 years, information security has become even more important. But we branched out to information security at a very early stage. And so information security, I could again use some of my earlier strengths. I was strong in consulting. I was strong in processes, and information security does require a lot of process oriented work. It does require a lot of management experience as well, and so that helped me when we branched into information security. And we did that for about 10 years or so. We got acquired, that time by amongst the big four. We got acquired. Part of our business got acquired, so that gave us a lot of boost for our information security business. And then by the year 2012, I was thinking of some apps type of development. So I was, me and my friend, he had some interesting ideas, and we formed what is called, the company's name was Innovative Apps Private Limited. So Innovative Apps, as the name implies, it was in the business of apps being developed. And the first app that we took up was an app called Read My Language. Read My Language was focused on doing language transliteration. So from any language, any Indian language, you could transliterate to any other Indian language automatically. It is not translation, it is transliteration. तो लिपि हम लोग चेंज करते थे. It is not translation. अनुवाद नहीं था, अनुलिपि. So, and that became a very interesting app. We were able to now then move on to using that app to teach English. And so that's what we are doing now. We are pitching that app as a means to learn English. So that was one of the ventures that I did. Then in the year 2015 or so, I then moved into movie production. There was an interesting idea that I got, and I felt that movie production, if it is treated like a proper business, it can also be an interesting experience. Till now, what's happened is, and of course the overall situation has changed quite a lot in the last about 20 years. Earlier, it used to be very individual oriented. So you had this big type of movie moguls. You had the Johars and the Chopras of the world, and so before that you had the Mukherjees, who had the big production houses. Okay, and it was all very individual oriented. From 2002 onwards, you had Reliance come in, and it became much more corporatized. And I felt that if we bring in management practices into this area of movie production, that'll be very nice. So that was an interesting thing we did. We made a large number of movies, not a large number, but I'd say a number of movies. And fortunately, so one of those movies was able to obtain a best award, national award, for the best original movie. So it's been an interesting journey. I've always wanted to do something different every time. Every few years, my wife says, that the bug hits me to do something new. I get bored of doing something. If it is doing well, I get bored of it, and I like to leave it to the others to do. So I hand it over to a chief executive whom I hire for that purpose, and the chief executive then really takes the ball and moves it around. So that has been my nature, I would say. And one thought that occurs to me at this time is actually, Anshuman, that entrepreneurship is also a state of mind. Okay, there are many people you will find who in their the entire mental makeup is such that they want to be entrepreneurs, right? They hate going to no, I'll not say they hate office. They do office, jobs and all that. But at the same time, there's this urge in them to be doing something better, to be doing something on their own, because they believe that if they are on their own, they have much more freedom, much more, ability to be doing something good. Also, with that, I think the state of mind reflects in a way by taking responsibility. You say, if I'm an entrepreneur, then I'll take responsibility for my good deeds and bad deeds also. I might make mistakes, but I'll take responsibility for that. And so I can't blame anybody else. If you're in a job, you can always crib, you can always say, my boss did not do this well, if I had been in his place, I would have done, etc. But an entrepreneur is always built in his mental makeup. An entrepreneur is built in the way he says, I will do it myself, all that. So it's a mental makeup. Some people I have seen, and I have discouraged many people who said that they want to start off on their own. I have been able to judge that in the mental makeup, they are still job oriented people. And so I discourage them. I say, that's all right. Stay in a job, you'll do well there. And many people do very, very well in a job. But I would say to those people, don't get into entrepreneurship. Get into entrepreneurship if you're the state of mind.
That was a great thing to share with all the viewers, sir. Thank you so much. As I can see, you have tried out a lot of things, and you have made some of the very innovative things, as you said. So, what do you think in today's time? What are the comfortable areas where a person can start with his entrepreneurship journey?
Look, I'll stick to my areas of knowledge. Okay, I'll not venture into areas which I don't know much about. It'll be unfair to to all your viewers to tell them something which I'm not equipped to do. But in the IT industry, I would say if you can get into information security is still very much sunrise. It is still not matured. So if you are able to get into some information security, you can open up. You can have an enterprise focused on information security consulting, information security implementation, information security audits, and also some tools. You can develop some tools which are geared towards information security, and that might be one area. So that's one. Internet of Things is really becoming much, much more so prevalent. We don't see it coming, but if you really look about it, look around you, all these advertisements that you see on TV, all these Halonix bulb I was seeing the other day, which says you can put on your music through a bulb, right? You can put on your fridge, you can put on your thing. Those are Internet of Things. So IoT has got so much applications around. So if there are any of your viewers who are who have done some studies on IoT, I would say if you've got a good idea on that, IoT is a very good area. But as an entrepreneur, I would say focus on the IoT applications. Don't go into IoT research. Don't try and do something absolutely new. Those are very expensive to do. Any R&D is much more expensive. As an entrepreneur, you have to make sure that you can make your money. Otherwise, you'll not sustain yourself. So therefore, I would say IoT, if you're doing, understand IoT and get into IoT applications. How do you apply IoT somewhere? And then you can make a niche for yourself. Even just giving consultants to a large number of consumer goods organization. They would need somebody like you with your knowledge So IoT is another thing that one would talk about. Of course, blockchain, all the financial transactions, uh, cryptocurrency. I would say leave that to the traders, people who understand investment analysis, people who do stock trading and all that. Leave it to them. They understand the way the all these cryptocurrencies go up and down. But an entrepreneur, if he can focus on blockchain applications, that'll be very interesting. Blockchain is a very interesting technology, and it's a very secure technology. So therefore, things like cryptocurrency is only one application of a blockchain. But you can get into smart contracts, for example. Smart contracts are where you don't have a physical contract, you have a smart contract which is enabled actually by blockchain, which you can't refute. You have to obey that contract. You can't disobey that contract because on blockchain. So blockchain applications could also be something very good to do.
Sure. Thank you so much for that insight, sir. Now, I would request all the viewers, if you have any question, please put down that into our comment section. And if you want us to discuss something more with Dr. Rajiv Nag, do let us know. We can come again. We can request Dr. Nag to come again on B Plus News and Reports and guide you on. So thank you very much for all your time, sir. And we wish you a B Plus Namaste.
Yes. Yes, people, namaste to you too.